Welcome to the George's FTTV YouTube channel. Today we'll discuss how we went for round 6, so should be good, lot to discuss. Upgrade season's pretty much here now, so got to start upgrading, but I did just do the double down this week. I thought there's not a lot of cash coming up, so we'll grab it while it's there, and our cash generators scored 20 between them, so we'll touch on that. But this week was rough. I mean, I reference other formats because I like them. I think Dream Team I was 80th. Fantasy I was 700th a few weeks ago, and I've blown out to like 5k and 200th in those formats, and it was all this week, like just catastrophe. And a few other people like in SuperCoach, you know, Reed, Cleary, Trainer on field for me in those formats, so I copped it pretty bad. And fantasy's very difficult to reverse trades. I couldn't reverse in that format, so I just copped an absolute beating in the ranks there, so a bit rough. And I know some people, certainly in Discord, copped it in SuperCoach, but fortunately for me, I survived. Was able to trade out Trainer, who I actually think is a hold if you feel like you can hold and you don't need his money. Because before this week, he was scoring like 80s and 90s for 3 weeks straight, but then I think before that it's dropped to 20, so who knows what you get. But yeah, the sub rule was pretty brutal, and the timing of it was bad because like the Essendon boys played first. So yeah, it was a rough week for some people, but fortunately for me, a lot went right this week. We 2,247 into 1.3k, 450 behind the leader. So I hope we can make ground, a lot of it. But you know, I think looking at the few of the top teams, they're one less rookie on the field. So how do you make ground like that? But hopefully we keep climbing and see how we go. But yeah, I think it's the Andy Brayshaw pick. I mean, Dawson's average is actually not that good with that stinker the other day, but he's been good otherwise. Cherry's been an excellent pick. Rosie, now that he's halfback, a bit lucky, has been good. So, and finally the turn happened with Sherry, so I did captain him, and he was only, I think it was 5% either C or VC. I think it was 1% C, 4% VC or something. They basically said on Twitter they expect him to fire, and TDK's, he's a really good ruck, but you can score points on him. So I did the VC and was able to compete with the Daicos captainers who got the 170. So yeah, it's pretty rough watching that Nick Daicos 170, but yeah. Our trades were, I haven't done my trades, so I nearly traded Roberts. I do apologise. My final trades video, I was trading Roberts, and then I was just working out future trades, getting in Nick and whatnot. And it worked out that I was able to hold Roberts. I decided, I could have got rid of other players, but now I've actually changed my plans again, and I ended up holding Davidson, which was a bit lucky because I was actually gonna trade him, but now that his break even's 30, I think he can stay for one more. And no, he's playing really well. Even if he gives us 60, extra 15k would be nice from him, and all the money counts. So that's that. So yeah, we'll go over the team, trade plans as well, and look at some players that are a good price. Sinclair put in a bad one, so he's going to be a target for us if you don't have him. But yeah, our trades they scored 20 average between them, so Gross came in for Nevitt, so looks like it's an okay call to trade Nevitt. He looks devoid of confidence to me. First few games was looking good, got all the CBAs, or good CBAs, and was getting him again today. But yeah, just getting caught holding the ball, lacks a bit of polish, not finding much of the ball in the heat. So maybe he's sub or gets sent back to the VFL soon. And the other trade was Trainer to Cleary, and oh man, I was quite bullish on Cleary given the VFL numbers from last year, the junior numbers, the VFL number from the game this year, and he gave us, I think, a 66 or 65 and an 81, I think, in the last 2 weeks. So 66, 81, 30, big accumulator, whatever. And he dropped to 30 for us, so that was a bit of a shock because I was basically saying in the trade video I did last week, Gross and Cleary non-negotiable, and Gross was sub. Sounds like it might have been a bit of a management thing or had a few things to work on, but I was a bit surprised he was sub. I suppose Tim Kelly coming back in. I'm guessing Harley Reid would have got a bit of mid-time too. And he's been at halfback, so bit of a squeeze there, but they did drop Hull, so I don't really see him coming back. But with Gross, like the cash coming at the moment, it's pretty thin. So I think Ned Long would have been a good play in hindsight, but we'll see what happens when Houston's back. Does that push Perriman into the midfield? What does that mean for Long? Maybe slightly less CBAs is what I'm thinking, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that ship's probably sailed now that the Houston is back, but he probably still gets good mid-time and should be a decent pick. But yeah, the logic with Gross is he's West Coast is kind of struggling pretty obviously. They need to play their talent, pump as many games as he can to Gross. He looks good, but yeah, still a kid, so hopefully he can make some money. I think he's got that 80 in his system, so he's going to make money. He just has to step on the field, avoid the sub. If he can do 50s for us, I guess the mid-clock that he was getting is not going to be there because, you know, they're going to put Hewitt in there, Tim Kelly's in there, Reed's in there. Let's have a quick look at the CBAs for West Coast. Okay, Kelly got max, Hull got max. I mean, not Hull. Hutchinson got a lot. I'm not sure that holds. Might have been injured. No, I can't remember. Gross, yeah, 4. So they put him in there. Harley Reid got a bit, as he should. Graham got a bit. Elijah Hewitt got a bit. So if Gross is going to get some, it's probably coming out of Hutchinson. He hasn't really done a lot in the midfield, but we'll see. Even if they play him off half forward, like I just think they should play him. So I think he'll play plenty throughout the year. Hopefully, like ups and downs, and by the buys, maybe he gets somewhere in the mid 200s, which would be nice. But yeah, it's tough to find money at the moment. Jimmy Tunstall, Elijah Hewitt is 188 with negative break even. Looks exceptional. Melbourne, Richmond in the next few weeks. I would go there. Look after the cash if you don't have him. But yeah. Look, defense. A lot of defenses struggled this week, so we were able to climb. Zorko, Sinclair didn't do much. Sheasel is, North a bit of a worry. I did expect more from Sheasel this year. Port, Adelaide Oval, that's a bit of a worry. And anti-potting Horn Francis is going to be a little bit sickening, I think. That's a worry. Not good. Jordy Clark, 94. I think this is his worst score, and a 94. So not a high ceiling, not a low floor. I mean, happy with Jordan Clark pick. 105 is sort of what I was expecting, and hopefully keeps doing that. Matt Roberts nearly traded. Lucky. The role's fine. Role's good. No excuse to really trade him. Now we got another week of sample with Bice in the team, and it probably is affecting him a little bit because it's another guy getting a bit more usage than whoever was there before. But Roberts should be fine. If he can just do 95 to the buys, we can flip him. Potentially keeper, maybe. I don't know. Depends what week you ask me. I think I'm going to trade short this week. We know that he's no chance of being a keeper, but I think he's one where you probably should hold to the buys now. But here's the thing. We kind of need his money to get Nick Daicos, and Nick is going to reach, I think with a pair of 115 or 120, Nick will get to 650, and then we have to wait for him to come down. We're already waiting for Bont and Butters to come down. I think we just get him while we can, and then we can get Petrarch in a few weeks. We can get Sinclair as well and focus on there. So I think we just get Nick while we can, and take the captain scores if we get them. So that's a good. Bice is sort of irrelevant because we all have him. But yeah, another thing is like short's not making money. If I'm trading someone, a rookie instead, I'm trading 2 rookies with a break even of 15. Hall probably is the one that goes, but he can still get a bit more money in him. And yeah, we'll see. So I feel like I'd rather look after the cash, get Nick while his break-in's 50. And yeah, trade short while he's not going to make much more money, if any. And then, get more money out of these guys. Might hurt a little bit on the field, but I don't know. I think it's looking after the cash long term. I guess Reed versus Pryor. Reed had the ruck in quarter 4, so wasn't scoring that well anyway. But yeah, got it wrong. It's all good. Mids is good enough. It's getting the job done. Andy's been brilliant. And he's probably top 4, top 5 mid this year, which is good. And yeah, teams are just tagging strong every week. He's got Winhager and I think he's got Bedford as well. Next month, yeah. And Drew. Then Winhager again, and then Jordan again. I'm not sure what I was thinking. If you're paying 600, that needed to be Nick or Whitfield. Hopefully it goes well against, not too well against the Crows, but we need something big from him badly because he's pretty low owned, I think. Dawson, good bounce back. Cherry's been good. Now, Cherry, the easy run, I think might be over. He's had the bottom West Coast, North, Richmond. Been very consistent. Nothing less than 98. So I think we're happy to hold him to the buys, and maybe like on the round 12 buy, just go him to Butters while we can, or him to Bont. Maybe that's, I don't know, 120k upgrade, fingers crossed. Because you can't really, like, whoever you bring in on that round 12 buy is going to have a buy anyway. So I'm hopeful that we can do that. If things go badly, maybe we can keep him, but I guess the body's always a concern. Rosie, nice. Yeah, it's got North this week, so happy to have Rosie. I think he'll be top 6 defender, so he can swing back, which means probably only have room for Sinclair and Whitfield. Oliver. How's his CBAs looking? Yeah, they've dropped a bit. If he can just do 90 to the buys, I'll be happy. Like, not a keeper, obviously, not that guy anymore. Levi's good, 85, 89, so he's got more money to make, so hopefully he can get to 400, which would be great. We'll get projected 75s, he'll get to 370, so I think that's pretty realistic. St Kilda, North Melbourne coming up, which is kind of nice. And then, yeah, Gold Coast at the Gabba, so nice run coming up. Hendo we kept over Nevitt, which worked because that means we looped Hewitt on field instead of Lindsay. So we got a little bit lucky there, 42 points, which were pretty important to our week this week. TDK Sherry, I'm not going to call TDK an issue, but I feel like the scores are fine. But yeah, the DT scores are well down. Like I think in the 70s last 3. So, but this is SuperCoach, not DT. Harry Boyd would have been nice to have Archer Reed, but we don't. Full line's pretty good. Just need Horn Francis and Petrarca, and then we're done, I think. Nick Martin's there too. Maybe Nick Martin will be a nice 23rd or 24th, but gee, it's going to be tough because we've overtraded. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. Yeah, Davo was pretty lucky hold, so a bit of luck went our way this week. Last week we did like 50-50, lost 50 points on captain, so like, yeah, luck will come, luck will not go your way. It is, I think, over the long run, it should even out, so it should be okay. Okay, so let's look at some targets. Okay, let's sort by price. So in terms of defenders, I'd love Whitfield. So looking at Whitfield's numbers from last year, I just his poorer games, SCG 54, GMHBA 69, and he's got those two coming up. So maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe the correlation's not that strong there, but that's kind of why I want to hold off a little bit on Whitfield, and Sinclair will target down back. Let's look defenders. So I think it's just those two because Rosie will go back. So we'll wait for Sinclair, I guess. I'm not sure we want anyone else. Houston's there, probably does 105. Holmes is there. I mean, we can definitely grab Holmes. Maybe Bedford coming up though. I don't know, maybe overthinking tags. Martin as well. He's an interesting pod. I don't mind him, but we've just missed the West Coast matchup. Bowie's just broken out of nowhere, it seems, but yeah, did miss that one, so good pick if you went there. So for me, it's just Whitfield Sinclair, really. Maybe Holmes. I think I just bet against Zorko because he's highly owned at the top. terms of, I think mid up. I mean, I'm not sure it's even worth going through it. Like midfield is just Nick, Bont, Butters, and then who's cheap? Like Dunkley will come down, so I think he'll be a good target. Maybe wait for Merritt to come down. And then forwards is just like, I don't know, Rankin, Petrarca, Juan Francis. Like you want McRae, Rankin, Baz, Daniel, Trarca, Juan Francis. Just those 6 really. Dylan Moore, I was keen to see if the role improved, and I'm glad we waited 1 week because that would have been horrific. I think he scored maybe 40. He was also off for a bit because he did cop a pretty heavy knock. 36. That's his worst score for a very long time. Man, if we went early on him, that would have been disaster. But yeah. In terms of cash generators, break evens. Well, Will White's gone. I guess 144 is not even that bad actually, but maybe he's got good job security. I mean, here's the problem though. They just played West Coast North back-to-back Carlton, so that's why they got a bunch of low break-evens. Carroll is not an extra year in the system, but his draft year was 2 years ago, so that extra year maybe helps a little bit. Good user. Not a big ball winner, but did score 80 in his 1 VFL game. I think maybe that's his spot over Cowan down back. Maybe. I would need Carlton supporters to help us out, maybe, but looking at him, Durden not going there for 200k. I definitely think Elijah Hewitt's better. Sardis, if he comes back, I mean, Pau Pepper's been good. I did change him to Elijah Hewitt at the last second to make money. And I'm not upset with Elijah Hewitt, but I think Pau Pepper would have been nice. Yeah, last minute changes never really go well. Tunstall might be one for next week, but I think sub risk might be a little bit high. Did score 88. So Tunstall's a watch. I think fingers crossed. Yeah, the money's just dried up, and then you got Flynn here. So Flynn and Carroll, I think you just, when the money's there, you take it, because next week, in terms of 1-gamers, Tunstall, I think that's it. Oscar McDonald, what did he score? 50. I think he's in for Voss anyway. Sido or Hawley, I mean, perma sub, so can't really go there unless you see consistent full games, and by then it'll be too much. So next week there's nothing. We'll have to go early maybe, or go Tunstall. So I think we just grab the money while it's there. I want Nick, I want Flynn, I want Carroll. I also want Petrarca. I'm always hesitant to go players off a 5-day break, so I'm quite happy, even though it's Richmond, I'm quite happy to wait on Krista. Petrarca, he's still yet to ton, but I'm more than happy to pay for a sub 500 for him. I think he's been a little bit unlucky. He's missed some easy set shots. His boy's been a bit down, which can be expected, but apparently played good, gave the team a rev up about sticking together, and I think he was somewhat, I don't know if entitled is the right word, but maybe he was a bit entitled to want to request a trade, just wants to win, wasn't happy, didn't see the vision, but he's contracted, and maybe he's back all in Melbourne. But I don't know, if Melbourne want to go another way, maybe they sell Oliver or something. If you get 2 firsts for Petrarca, do you take that? If you're not going to win a flag and you go the rebuild path, I think you do, but yeah, he's superstar. CBAs are up as well. I just checked this Melbourne. What am I doing? 82. Yeah. So he's back in the midfield. I think Viney's probably struggling a bit. Did a tagging job, and Oliver and Langford, no CBAs, but doing well. So a bit of a rookie miss there. So the first trade is a locked one. So we'll go straight to Flynn, I'm guessing, is up here. Flynn, Flynn a little bit lucky, did ruck against Zach Reed's, never really rucked in the fourth quarter with Draper going down, but was scoring reasonably well. I think it was on 80 at 3/4 time, which is good, and Draper's usually restrictive, so I'm more than happy to take the money and not have to field a rook that's going to be subbed here. I think he's bought himself some time now, and look, he could get dropped. Who knows what they do? A non-competitive performance could force that, but I think he's bought himself some time, and he's better than BJ Williams. So that's that. And then we need to get probably Carroll. So who goes out for Carroll? I don't think it's these two. Reed maybe goes next week. Hold for one more. 14 break even. Shorts break even's doable, but 5-day break, similar to Petrarca. Like, I'm not keen on that, to be honest. Maybe I'm overestimating 5-day break, but it's like affected the Brisbane plays, affected the Crows mids. I wonder if that happens with Melbourne too. So I'm gonna wait on Petrarca 1 week, and that means Short goes out, and Hall can make a little bit more, but Nick's gonna make more. So I wouldn't mind holding Hall, but yeah, someone's got to go, and I've decided it's him. It can't be pretty much anyone else. So that gives us money for, say we went Petrarca, just as an example. That gives us nothing. So we go Daicos, and then we'll go Carroll. Now, it does make our fixture worse. I'd rather field Elijah Hewitt than an Essendon rookie, but we need to look after the cash. That's number one priority. Points is the priority, but getting cash to get those points later in the year is a priority too. So I think the cash we can maybe get by. Everyone's making money except Brock and Boyd. So I think that's good. Fingers crossed Cleary holds, because he was awful. That many handballs he did went to the opposition. So Stone, I think we're going to just, I don't know, maybe this gets to 240 in 6 weeks. I don't know. Every single cent we'll try and squeeze out of him. And then the DPP might be handy. Who knows? So hopefully we're not stuck with 299 case here, but we can loop, I think. Anyway, we'll probably loop Carroll. We can bench Reed on Friday night, and then sub him on if we need to. Otherwise, play Carroll. But yeah, assuming D5 or D6, probably one drops off. See how we go. But otherwise, the amount of rooks we're fielding. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess Bice you can barely call. But yeah, we need to get him off ASAP. So next week it'll be probably Davidson and Reed, 1 up, 1 down to Petrarca. And then we'll chill on that. Try and somehow get, it might be Ryan Marich, and then start fielding Elijah Hewitt to get Sinclair. It's going to be tough to come up with money for Butters and Bont later in the year. We'll have to use Chera and Oliver money. We'll see. Maybe we ditch Daniel eventually, get Nick Martin instead. I think every week I listen to David King, and he's getting frustrated with Daniel and Fisher as well in the same back line, and I guess Fisher's injured now, but do they do something with Daniel? Do they throw Sheasel, or probably not Sheasel? I think they're committed to that forward of the ball, but do they put McKercher behind the ball because he's struggling? So I would definitely do that, but I don't know, clubs want to put players in the front half, but I don't know, when they're struggling, do you just let them play behind the ball for a bit, play him into form, and then I'd put McKercher. How much is he? He must be cheap. 350. Yeah, if he goes behind the ball, could be a good mid-pricer. See how we go. But yeah, for me, main 3 targets this week. Nick, if you don't have him. Flynn, I guess Carroll as well. Fingers crossed he holds. And then if you don't want to pay for Nick, then it's probably, if you don't have Rosie, that's a good price. Dawson's a good price. Petrarca as well. But yeah, I'm waiting on the 5-day break. I think we'll wrap it up there. So yeah, hopefully you had a good week. And yeah, footy's on already. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 2 days, 3 sleeps. No, should be good. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.